We are now on day 3 of our 5-day quick start guide to finally hitting your goals for the year 2010. And yesterday we discussed keys to following through.
Yeah, that's always the hard part. Today, we're going to get creative with your goals. Life designer Renessa Boley is back to explain exactly what that means. Creative.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, basically, the bottom line is when we're setting goals like getting organized and getting out of debt, those are lifestyle shifts. It's not just a one-time goal that you just kind of hit and drop. And so there's no cookie cutter formula for how do you maintain a goal throughout the course of the lifetime. So you've got to get really creative and a lot less rigid about how you do that. So one of the things that I encourage people to do is, one, multiply your options, right? So once you've gotten clear about what you want, you're motivated to follow through, the thing that trips people up is that they only give themselves 1 or 2 options for getting that goal.
Let's talk about the one example you just talked about, losing money.
Yeah,
that's
we
my
don't wanna
problem. Saving money. What would you say? You know, people say, okay, I'm going to, be tighter on everything, and then it goes out the window.
Yep, you want to figure out, well, how many different ways can I be tight? So as you go through your budget, obviously there's certain options that would have more bang for the buck. So if you were to sell a car that you didn't need, that was kind of already paid for, maybe you don't need, you're a single person, you don't need 2 cars, or you're a family and you don't need 3, then let's get rid of one of those. That's going to be a bigger bang of the buck than the cable. Perhaps it's getting a second job or doing something on the part-time or home business or what have you. So you want to give yourself many different options, because what happens for people is, for the gym as an example, and you mentioned this yesterday, they start the gym, they're hoorah, 2 weeks later they're out for the count. But the goal wasn't to go to the gym, the goal was to lose weight or to get fit. And so when the first option doesn't work, they fall off. But when you've got 2, 3, 4 options, and I always tell people have 3 to 5 options before you start your goal, because inevitably the first thing you try is not going to work.
Now, this is interesting. This applies to my life in my banjo playing, because when I'm playing the banjo and I'm practicing, I'll say,
when he's a rock star.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a rock star on stage.
I didn't know you had it in you.
How am I going to advance today? And I think I'm going to learn a tune that's really hard to execute. And I'll find I blow it. I can't do it. And so I think, well, I've got other options. I can go back and relearn the stuff that I've forgotten that I know I can do, and that helps in a different way. Or I can practice timing and just forget that. But there are different ways that I can approach it. And I've found through the years that if I take those different approaches when one is not working, that I don't get really frustrated.
And what people don't know, the first thing usually doesn't work. And so if you know that already going in, give yourself many options so that you can move forward.
And why do we always go for the obvious thing, like the go to the gym and this, and then we fail? It's like we really don't want to do it.
And most people quit the gym because they don't like it, which leads us to the next point, which is remember the fun factor. So, we have this adage of no pain, no gain, right? And so we apply that to our goals in a way that really doesn't serve us, because just because something's hard doesn't mean that it's necessarily effective. So with the whole gym thing, people quit because it's not fun and they don't like it. And so I tell people, when you set your goal, whatever vehicle you use, make sure that it's something that naturally resonates with you and works for you. Otherwise, you're not going to be consistent.
Don't keep beating your head against the wall.
Exactly.
And what works for one person is not going to be
exactly
the same thing for
what works
somebody
for
else.
Doug doesn't work for me, because we've got different lifestyles, different circumstances, different situations.
Right. Always, life throws unforeseen circumstances your way. What do you do in that event?
And you mentioned that on Monday. I remember that very, very clearly. And I tell people you've got to be flexible, because life will throw you curveballs. It will kick you in the gut. It will do some things to you. And so, but life's delays are not necessarily life's denials. And so if you set your goal, you've set your plan, you've also got to leave some room that says, you know what, I may need to make some adjustments. So if I've decided I've started my home business and from 2 to 5, this is when I'm going to work it, well, little Timmy's, soccer league is right in the middle of that. And so the question becomes, how do I still make this happen? Do I get up earlier, later, do a carpool thing so someone else is taking the kid, or do I work from the field? Like, what can I do to make sure I still hit the goal, as opposed to letting it die because my circumstances have changed?
That's a tough one. I think a lot of people go through that. They look at the schedule and say, I can't fit it in. I can't do this. But you've got to make those exceptions here and there, and it's hard.
Yeah, it's a different question. As opposed to why is this not going to work, it becomes, how can I make this work? And whatever question you ask your brain will give you an answer for it. It's just a matter of how you're shifting that perspective to get the answer that moves you forward.
Renessa, you have all these great ideas. Please say there's something that you didn't meet in a goal. Or some resolution. Please say you failed.
There is tons of stuff that I didn't meet in a goal. In fact, Doug was saying my Valentine's Day goal was to wear this jacket on Valentine's Day. So my resolution is to be nicely,
you got to see the shoes. We've got it out, these shoes.
Got the other side.
Hold them up. It matches. Even the texture of the shoe matches the jacket. She's that good.
I'm trying to be like Natasha.
Yeah,
I've
right.
had 3
I'm not
days
that
to try
good.
to figure this out.
I
so
am
I'm
not
working
that
on
good.
this.
Everybody will tell you here. I'm in like the winter boots when I walk in, and then I move to the heels. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yes.
It's comfort.
So I've got the relationship goal that I'm working on. So that's my deal for 12/31.
I like it. I like it.
That Chinese proverb comes back to mind again. Fall 7 times, get up 8 times.
Yeah, we hope we don't have to fall 7 times
Yeah.
on the relationship. We want to get that, let's get
Thanks,
that right.
Vanessa. We'll see you back here tomorrow, right?
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.